really, I suppose I better introduce myself because you don't all know me. So I've already said my name. So Debbie, a lot of people call me Coach Debs. Debbie, Debs, whatever you like, really. Again, I'm not fussy. And my background is very much, my story is very much a senior leader in the corporate world. So I used to do executive coaching. I used to run leadership development programs globally. And I ran talent teams. So that was all about spotting the right people in the right places, doing the right thing. And I always used to say I used to find diamonds in the rough. I used to find those people who had a bit of spark, but didn't really know what to do with it, or it had been dampened by the job they were in or the manager they were managed by. And it was my job to help them polish that spark within themselves so that they were shining brightly and they were reaching their full potential more than ever before. And I absolutely loved my job. I loved everything about it because it was about helping people who wouldn't have necessarily had the help without me. And it wasn't about me in my role, it was about them in their role. And it was helping them to find the confidence within themselves to realize that they were absolutely incredible. And once they realized that, seeing what they were capable of was absolutely amazing. And then I became a mum. And then I became a superwoman. And I'm sure that all of you can relate to that. I was not going to give up a 15-year career that I'd worked my absolute butt off just because I had a baby. I had decided that I was going to put my cloak on and I was going to fly through the sky, and I was still going to work, and I was still going to be a successful career woman, and I was still going to be an amazing mummy, and I was still going to do sports and fitness, and I was still going to look after the house, blah, 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 blah. And I can see some nods from some of you who have obviously been there and done that to a certain extent. And, you know, at one point I was teaching CrossFit, which was my fitness love. I had a newborn baby. I was running in the end, two businesses. I was employed and ran a business. And I was socializing and going to networking events, etc., etc. And I broke, essentially. I absolutely broke because nobody said to me, Debs, you can't do it all. And I wish somebody had, because you can do all of those things, but not to the same level as you used to. And nobody told me that. And I thought I was going to be the hero in it. And I wasn't. I broke myself. I was ill all the time. I felt guilty all the time because I was doing everything at 60 to 80%. And being somebody who's always been a high achiever, I couldn't cope with that. And so I felt crap, felt really crappy. I felt really stressed. I ended up not being able to do everything anyway, because I kept on going to the doctors with different infections, etc., etc. My friend at the time went through a massive trauma in her life, which really rocked my life. And I really spent some time reflecting on, actually, children are really precious. And so I went, you know what? I can't do this anymore. I cannot do this anymore. By this time I had my second child, and I decided, right, that's it. I am going to be a mum. Brilliant. I can do this. I can bake, and I can clean, and I can cook, and I can play with the baby, and I could deal with the toddler. And it was quite exciting, and I made it exciting. And although I never wanted to be a full-time mum, I wanted to be a businesswoman, I was determined to make it work. And it was brilliant. And there were parts of that were brilliant. But I had a very old-fashioned role of a mum, as some of you have probably just realised, in my head of what that meant. And being brutally honest, I thought I should be happy. You know, that feeling inside of, I was lonely and I was sad and I felt underutilized and I felt underappreciated. Because let's face it, and, you know, give me a thumbs up if you recognise this, mums don't get thanks. Do they? Yeah, you know, and we don't get that thanks. And so I felt rubbish, and I felt even worse because I should have felt good. You know, I'd made a big decision, and so I had to re-find myself, because what I realised is when I became a mum, I was hanging on to the old Debs. I was hanging on to the businesswoman Debs, the woman who could put all of her energy into her work. And I hadn't rebirthed myself. I hadn't brought myself into the next stage and the next chapter. And then when I had my second child, exactly the same happened. So I needed to really find out what my new identity was. And I spent quite a while doing that. And I went through a certain process, but I craved to have an identity of my own and to feel like me again. I wanted to be a fabulous mum, but I wanted to feel like me. And that is the journey that I've been on. And so I really looked at what I was good at, what I enjoyed, what I wanted from life. Nobody ever asked me, what do you want? And so I had to really, really kind of dig deep and go into the questions that nobody had asked me before. And I certainly hadn't asked myself. And that is what brings me here. I made some big decisions, and I became the next version of me. And I realized what I'm good at is inspiring and motivating other people. I am generally that annoying person who, as soon as I get up in the morning, I'm like this, morning, and I like it on the school run, and I like it when I get home, and I like it until I go to bed and pass out, basically. It drives my husband mad because he's not a morning person. But, I energize other people. I'm damn good at putting together training courses and putting things across in a way that people can understand, not baffling people with the science and the process and all of those fabulous things that I could do because I've got the knowledge, but I don't need to, because I don't need to feed my ego. I need to help you. So I need to speak in a language that you understand. And I'm good at that. So that's what brought me to what I am today. So I'm still a consultant for some small corporates locally because I didn't want to travel anymore. But essentially, I run online programs for women who want more, women who want to figure out who they are again and figure out what it is they want from life, and to put a plan into place to know exactly how to get that. And it's brilliant because I've got the best of both worlds. I can work that around the school run. I can work that and be present for my kids, but I have my own identity. Yay! I am me again, and I feel good again, and I'm not getting ill again. And it means I get to help people like you figure out what it is that you want as well.